friend of yours? Come in.
Please.
Your eyes. You're a soldier, aren't you?
Was.
You wouldn't happen to know our son, would you? Zack? Are you all right?
Fine. What did you say his name was?
Zack. Zack Fair.
Zack?
Cloud's reaction to Zack's name reveals a mix of recognition and bewilderment. He senses a connection to the name, a stirring of memories that lie just beyond his grasp. His questioning expression and troubled demeanor suggest that there is some kind of memory just out of his reach. Cloud's reaction looks as if he is struggling to piece together the significance of Zack, someone Aerith had spoken of before, but his name was blocked out at that time. He acknowledges that the name triggers some form of memory or familiarity within him. This indicates that Cloud does have some residual memory or knowledge of Zack, possibly due to previous conversations with Aerith where she mentioned Zack's name and their connection. Cloud's final response, sorry, no, encapsulates his internal struggle. He knows the name Zack Fair holds significance, particularly to Aerith, but his inability to recall the specifics weighs on him. The recurring headaches symbolize more than physical pain. They represent the psychological barriers Cloud must navigate as he confronts his fractured memories and identity issues. His acknowledgement that he blocked out Aerith's mention of Zack due to his own coping mechanisms highlight the depths of his psychological trauma and the lengths to which he must go to protect himself from overwhelming memories.
Sorry. No.
Our son just up and left one day, determined to chase his dreams. At first, he wrote us all the time, but
When I first saw you, I thought, maybe this is the girl he was always talking about. Sorry if I made you feel uncomfortable.
I doubt I was the only woman in his life. Charming guy like Zack.
Wherever he is, I hope he's enjoying himself at least. They do say no news is good news, right?
They sure do.
say, if you do happen to see Zack, would you tell him that we miss him and to please get in touch?
Of course I will. We should probably be heading back, don't you think?
What? Already? At least have something to eat before you go.
Thanks, but we don't want to keep our friends waiting.
Another time, then. Here.
Hey. That wasn't very nice of me. You remember me telling you about Zack, right? At the playground? How he was my first love?
Yeah.
This is where he grew up, and now that I'm here, it's a lot. So when I saw someone who looked like him, I don't know, I had to say something. Didn't even occur to me to think how they would feel about it.
Aerith's initial impulse to approach Cloud upon seeing someone resembling Zack at Loveless Street reveals her emotional sensitivity and openness. It demonstrates her honesty and willingness to address uncomfortable or potentially awkward situations directly. This honesty is a hallmark of Aerith's character throughout the game, where she often speaks her mind with sincerity and empathy. Aerith's explanation about Zack being her first love and how visiting Gongaga stirs up emotions for her. This shows her attempt to share her feelings and experiences with Cloud. She wants him to understand the significance of the place and why seeing someone resembling Zack affected her. Aerith admits that she didn't consider how her meeting with Cloud might make him feel. The thought that she approached him because of resemblance to Zack. This is her showing empathy and concern for his emotions. She worries that he might have been hurt or uncomfortable being inadvertently compared to Zack. When Aerith says, "So when I saw someone who looked like him, I don't know, I had to say something," she reveals her initial impulse upon seeing Cloud at the Loveless Street. Aerith is acknowledging that seeing someone resembling Zack triggered an emotional response in her, prompting her to approach Cloud. Aerith's concern about potentially hurting Cloud by mentioning Zack reflects her deep respect for his emotional journey. She understands that Cloud is grappling with identity issues and striving to define himself beyond his past traumas and illusions. Aerith's worry isn't about comparing Cloud to Zack in terms of worth or affection, but rather about ensuring that her actions do not undermine Cloud's self-confidence or sense of belonging. Aerith demonstrates high emotional intelligence by recognizing Cloud's ongoing struggle with identity and self-worth. Emotional intelligence involves the ability to perceive, understand, and manage emotions effectively in oneself and others. Aerith's awareness of Cloud's past traumas and illusions shows her capacity to empathize with his emotional state and anticipate how her actions might affect him. Aerith's concern about not undermining Cloud's self-confidence or sense of belonging reveals her respect for his autonomy and individuality. In psychology, autonomy refers to the capacity of self-determination and the ability to make choices that align with one's values and goals. By avoiding comparisons between Cloud and Zack, Aerith acknowledges Cloud's right to define himself independently of his past experiences or associations. Cloud's silence and distant demeanor may lead Aerith to misinterpret his feelings. He might appear aloof or detached, but in reality he's struggling to articulate his emotions. Cloud might internally struggle with the idea that Aerith sees similarities between him and Zack. He could feel a sense of unease or inadequacy, wondering if he measures up to Zack's legacy, or if Aerith's memories of Zack overshadow her perception of him. While Cloud might initially feel uncomfortable with Aerith's comparison, he may also appreciate her honesty and vulnerability. Aerith's admission that she didn't consider his feelings demonstrates her respect and care for him, which could alleviate some of his concern about being compared to Zack. From Cloud's perspective, it's most likely that Aerith's admission triggers a flurry of thoughts. He may be wondering how deep Aerith's feelings for Zack run, whether there is a lingering attachment that could overshadow their growing relationship. This jealousy stems not just from a fear of comparison to Zack, but also from Cloud's own insecurities. Moreover, Cloud's focus on Aerith's feelings towards Zack instead of her concern for his own emotions reveals his internal struggle. He's wrestling with feelings of inadequacy, afraid that Aerith's lingering emotion for Zack might mean she sees qualities in him that Cloud lacks. This fear of not measuring up to a past love interest is compounded by Cloud's own journey of self-discovery and acceptance.
Pretty selfish, huh? Waltzing in there, stirring up memories.
I don't know. They didn't seem to mind.
Sure they did. But thanks.
So, this Zack guy, you still like him?
Instead of addressing Aerith's worry about his feelings, Cloud immediately jumps to a bold question. So this Zack guy, you still like him? This question is remarkably direct for Cloud, who typically keeps his emotions guarded. His quick shift to questioning Aerith's feelings towards Zack suggests a surge of jealousy and insecurity. Asking Aerith about her feelings for Zack involves a significant risk of vulnerability for Cloud. He opens himself up to potential emotional discomfort or possibly rejection by directly addressing a topic that could challenge his self-esteem and sense of security in their relationship. Cloud's blunt question, so this Zack guy, you still like him? Contrasts with his usual reserved demeanor. This directness suggests a level of emotional agitation and jealousy on Cloud's part. He typically holds back from such confrontational topics, but his jealousy over Aerith's lingering feelings for Zack prompts him to seek clarity. Cloud's question about Zack could indicate his own lingering uncertainties and insecurities regarding Aerith's feelings. By this point in their journey, Cloud has developed feelings for Aerith. Their shared experiences, mutual support, and growing closeness have deepened his emotional attachment to her. Cloud's jealousy arises from his fear of losing Aerith's affection or feeling insecure about his place in her heart. Aerith's admission about Zack being her first love and the impact of visiting Gongaga triggers Cloud's jealousy, because he perceives Zack as a significant figure in Aerith's past. Cloud may feel inadequate compared to Zack, who represents an idealized version of a soldier, and someone Aerith deeply cared for. This comparison stirs up feelings of insecurity within Cloud. By asking about Aerith's feelings for Zack, Cloud seeks reassurance and validation of his place in Aerith's life. His jealousy prompts him to address the potential threat posed by Zack's memory directly. Hoping to clarify where he stands with Aerith and whether she shares similar feelings for him. Cloud's jealousy also stems from a fear of rejection or being replaced. He may worry that Aerith's lingering feelings for Zack could overshadow their growing relationship or prevent her from fully committing to him emotionally. This fear amplifies his sensitivity to any indications that Aerith may still harbor romantic feelings for Zack. Cloud's question highlights the importance of communication in relationships. Effective communication allows partners to express their emotions, address concerns, and deepen their understanding of each other. Despite his struggles, Cloud has shown growth in confronting his emotion and vulnerabilities. His decision to ask about Aerith's feeling for Zack reflects his willingness to face uncomfortable truths and seek clarity in their relationship. This emotional bravery stems from his evolving self-awareness and determination to address his insecurities head-on. But it is, however, very interesting that he didn't really respond to the "so when I saw someone who looked like him, I don't know, I had to say something. Didn't even occur to me to think how they would feel about it." He never really responded to this. He seemed way more focused to know about her feelings towards Zack more than anything. Cloud's focus on Aerith's present feelings, rather than dwelling on why she initially approached him, could also indicate his need for reassurance and validation in their relationship. He wants to feel secure in Aerith's affection and believes that understanding her feelings for Zack will help him navigate their current dynamic. By confronting the issue head-on, Cloud seeks clarity and emotional honesty, which are crucial for building trust and intimacy. Cloud being jealous isn't actually something new. It was also shown back in the OG, where he had almost the same conversation with Aerith. Here is the scene. In this scene, you could pick between two dialogue options. One was "poor guy," and Aerith responds with, "I don't really mind that I haven't heard from him, but I feel for his parents," which also tells us of her feelings towards Zack. The other option was more of an emotional response from Cloud, where it says jealous, envious. It's very interesting introducing such complex emotions for Cloud. But I really like that the devs incorporate really human emotions into these characters. Makes them feel very much real and we can relate to them as well. And it's interesting that the devs chose to make this conversation non-optional and went with the jealous option, which is also the option that gives Aerith more affinity in the OG.
Wow. You went there, huh? Maybe. He's never given me a reason not to.
Aerith's response indicates her surprise at Cloud's question, recognizing it as uncharacteristic of him. Her answer, maybe, he's never given me a reason not to, reflects honesty rather than an attempt to provoke jealousy. Aerith values honesty and likely responds truthfully, acknowledging her past feelings for Zack, but also indicating that her emotions are open-ended. In the OG, she did say that she hoped he was jealous. But I'm not getting that feeling from remake Aerith. She's too honest. She probably would have dropped that as well, if that was the case. The silence that follows their exchange suggests a moment of tension and introspection. Both Cloud and Aerith process the implications of their conversation, perhaps contemplating the complexities of their emotions and relationship dynamics. Non-verbal cues such as prolonged eye contact can convey unspoken thoughts and emotions, revealing their internal turmoil. Aerith's follow-up statement, "He's never given me a reason not to," reflects her commitment to honesty and openness in her relationship with Cloud. By acknowledging her past feelings for Zack, she doesn't shy away from her history or the complexities of her emotions. Instead, Aerith communicates that while she once had strong feelings for Zack, her current feelings are not anchored solely in the past, but are open to evolution. Despite Cloud's direct question, possibly stemming from jealousy and/or insecurity, most likely both, because insecurity triggers jealousy, Aerith responds in a way that respects both her own truth and Cloud's emotional journey. She doesn't dismiss Cloud's concern, but doesn't apologize for her past feelings either. This demonstrates her maturity and understanding of the importance of communication in their relationship. Aerith's statement that Zack never gave her a reason not to implies that while her feelings for Zack may have evolved or changed over time, she doesn't hold any resentment or regret towards him. This openness suggests that Aerith is willing to confront her past and discuss it with Cloud, allowing for a deeper understanding between them. It's essential to recognize that individuals evolve emotionally over time. Psychologically speaking, our emotions are fluid and can change in response to new experiences, personal growth, and shifting priorities. Aerith's past affection for Zack represents a chapter in her life, an experience that shaped her but does not dictate her future relationships. This fluidity allows individuals like Aerith to form new attachment and connections, each unique and influenced by different circumstances and emotions. Relationships are not about possession or ownership. Psychologically, healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, trust, and individual autonomy. Each person retains the right to their own feelings, desires, choices. Aerith's journey with Cloud is characterized by mutual understanding, empathy, and a shared emotional connection that transcends any previous romantic attachment she may have had. Recognizing this allows Aerith and Cloud to build a relationship based on their current connection and shared experiences, rather than being overshadowed by past affiliations. Moreover, the concept of first love highlights the initial intensity and significance of early romantic experiences. First loves often leave a lasting impression due to their novelty and emotional impact. However, this does not necessitate a lifelong commitment or obligation. As individuals grow and develop, their understanding of love and relationships evolves, leading to new connections that may be equally meaningful or even more fulfilling than past experiences. Holding on to idealized memories of first love can inhibit personal growth and emotional development. Individuals may resist exploring new relationships or opportunities, fearing they won't experience the same intensity or emotional high as their initial romantic experience. This reluctance can limit the ability to form meaningful connections and adapt to changing circumstances. Idealizing first love can make it challenging to move on from past relationships and fully invest in new ones. Individuals may cling to nostalgic memories or feelings of attachment, even if they are no longer compatible with their current life circumstances or values. This reluctance to let go can impede healing and prevent individuals from experiencing new forms of love and companionship. Aerith shows emotional maturity by acknowledging her past feelings for Zack without letting them overshadow her present relationship with Cloud. Unlike idealizing first love, which can lead to unrealistic expectations and comparisons, Aerith understands that feelings evolve and relationships change over time. She values honesty and open communication, which allows her to navigate her emotions and interactions with Cloud authentically. Aerith respects Cloud as an individual with his own unique experiences and journey. She does not impose expectations on Cloud based on her past with Zack, nor does she expect him to compete with an idealized version of her first love. This respect for individuality fosters a supportive and understanding environment in the relationship, where both partners can grow and evolve without feeling constrained by past attachments. Aerith's ability to focus on her present relationship with Cloud reflects her maturity and commitment. She appreciates the qualities and experiences they share together, rather than dwelling excessively on nostalgic memories or past relationships. This present-focused approach allows Aerith and Cloud to build a strong foundation based on mutual respect, trust, and emotional intimacy. Aerith demonstrates an adaptive and growth-oriented mindset in her relationship with Cloud. She embraces new experiences and challenges alongside Cloud, supporting each other's personal growth and emotional well-being. This contrasts with idealizing first love, which may hinder personal development by fixating on past experiences as the peak of romantic fulfillment. When you're fixated on past events or relationship, it prevents you from moving forward and evolving. Life is about growth and adaptation, and dwelling on the past can hinder your progress. Cloud's growing feelings for Aerith make him more emotionally invested in their relationship. As a result, he may fear the possibility of rejection or not being chosen over Zack. If Aerith's feeling for Zack were to resurface or remain significant, this fear can lead to heightened sensitivity to any signs that Aerith's emotional connection with Zack may still hold weight. Even if Cloud himself doesn't understand these emotions, it's still something that is coming up to the surface. As a child, Cloud had a crush on Tifa, whom he didn't really have a close bond with, but he admired her from afar. This unrequited love may have reinforced his insecurities and desire to be someone special to someone else. Cloud may desire exclusivity in his relationship with Aerith, seeking reassurance that she sees him as her present and future, rather than being emotionally tied to someone from her past. The possibility that Aerith may still harbor feelings for Zack challenges this desire for exclusivity, stirring up internal conflict and prompting him to confront his own insecurities. The parallel with Tifa choosing Emilio and the boys over him during their childhood may contribute to Cloud's insecurities. He may fear history repeating itself, where someone he cares deeply about, Aerith, might ultimately choose someone else, Zack, over him, reaffirming his fears of rejection. This isn't to say that Cloud can't have a crush on both Aerith and Tifa, but with Cloud and Aerith having this healthy relationship grow between them, they certainly look like a good couple. Whilst Cloud and Tifa have a lot of work to do if it's ever going to work between them. Usually for the two of them, it's 1 step forward, 5 steps back. And without Aerith in the picture, it still did not go well between Cloud and Tifa. We have the proof in Advent Children. Cloud has a troubled past, including false memories and trauma from what happened at Nibelheim and then in the hands of Hojo. Someone who can be patient with his emotional ups and downs and who seeks to understand the root of his issues would be crucial. This person would need to accept him with all his complexities and be willing to help him work through his trauma at his own pace. Given Cloud struggles with his identity and false memories, honesty and trust are paramount. He needs someone who can be straightforward with him, while also being supportive and non-judgmental. Building a relationship based on trust would help him feel more secure and stable.
Any news? Nothing. No calls, no letters.
Oh,
Leaving you out in the cold like this? Forget about that loser. He's a soldier, right? Then I hate to break it to you. But if he's been gone this long, the man is
When Tifa arrives and asks Aerith about any news from Zack, Aerith's disappointment is palpable. Cloud's immediate response, forget about that loser, followed by his attempt to comfort Aerith by suggesting Zack might be gone for good, reveals his protective and caring side towards her. He wants to shield Aerith from further disappointment and possibly steering her away from lingering feelings for Zack, emphasizing his concern for her emotional well-being. He doesn't want her to dwell on someone who might not return or who could potentially hurt her emotionally. This protective stance likely stems from his growing affection and attachment to Aerith. Cloud's suggestion that Zack might be gone for good could also be influenced by his fear of losing Aerith's attention or affection to someone from her past who she deeply cared about. Cloud might feel inadequate compared to Zack, who was once an important person in Aerith's life, and whom she may still hold feelings for. His protective stance is not just about shielding Aerith from disappointment, but also about asserting himself as someone who cares deeply for her and wants her to focus on their present relationship. His protective behavior could be a way to assert his place in Aerith's life and reassure himself that he can provide her with the emotional support and stability she needs. His suggestion that Zack might not return serves multiple psychological purposes. Firstly, it shields Aerith from further disappointment and potential emotional harm. Secondly, it reflects Cloud's own fear of losing Aerith's attention or affection to someone from her past whom she deeply cared about. This fear taps into his insecurities, stemming from his past experiences of rejection and inadequacy, particularly in relation to his childhood crush Tifa. But this scene could also be seen as dismissal of Aerith's feelings. Cloud refers to Zack as that loser. He minimizes the significance of Aerith's emotion and attachment to her first love. This dismissal suggests a lack of empathy towards Aerith's feelings, which can be interpreted as selfish because it prioritizes his own discomfort or insecurity over Aerith's emotional experience. He could also be imposing his perspective, By urging Aerith to forget about Zack, Cloud imposes his own viewpoint and desires onto her emotional process. This can be seen as selfish because it disregards Aerith's autonomy and agency in deciding how to navigate her feelings for Zack. It implies that Cloud's discomfort with Zack's memory outweighs Aerith's right to reminisce or process her emotions. Or it could be that he's protecting his own feelings. Cloud's statement might also stem from a desire to protect himself emotionally. He may feel threatened by Aerith's lingering feelings for Zack and the possibility that she could still harbor affection for him. In this light, his instance to forget about that loser serves to safeguard his own heart and maintain his perceived position as Aerith's primary emotional support. Moreover, it could be insecurity and competition that he feels. Cloud's dismissive remark could reflect his insecurity and fear of being compared unfavorably to Zack. He may view Zack as a romantic rival and feel compelled to assert his superiority or dominance in Aerith's affection. This competitive mindset, while neutral or natural to some extent, can lead to selfish behaviors if it disregards Aerith's emotional needs and autonomy. And then we have the lack of understanding aspect. Cloud's statement may stem from a lack of understanding or empathy towards Aerith's complex emotions. His perspective on relationship and emotional attachment may be limited by his own experiences and insecurities, which can cloud his judgment and lead to selfish actions. However, I believe Cloud's feelings in the context of this statement, forget about that loser, likely stems from a mixture of jealousy and a desire to protect Aerith's feelings. This is the most likely reason since it is also shown in the OG. Cloud's jealousy is a natural human emotion, particularly in the context of a developing romantic relationship. He may feel insecure or threatened by Aerith's lingering feelings for Zack, her first love. This jealousy can manifest as a fear of being compared unfavorably to Zack or losing Aerith's affection to someone from her past, whom she deeply cared about. Cloud's protective stance towards Aerith, therefore, may partly be driven by his own need for reassurance and validation in the relationship. Despite his jealousy, Cloud also genuinely cares for Aerith and wants to shield her from emotional harm. His statement, forget about that loser, can be interpreted as an attempt to protect Aerith's feelings and prevent her from dwelling on someone who may not return or who could potentially hurt her emotionally. This protective instinct showcases Cloud's concern for Aerith's well-being and his willingness to prioritize her emotional stability above his own discomfort. Cloud's inability to hide his feeling of jealousy also reflects a deeper trust and vulnerability with Aerith. He allows himself to be emotionally exposed in front of her, believing that honesty and openness are crucial to their relationship's strength. This vulnerability, while uncomfortable at times, fosters deeper intimacy and understanding between them.
Cloud?
Sorry. I'm gonna go lie down.
Well, that clears that up. He definitely doesn't know who Zack is.
Another time.
Cloud's statement, another time, as he walks away, suggests that he's not entirely resolved or comfortable with the topic of Zack and Aerith's past. It could imply a desire to revisit the conversation when he feels more emotionally prepared, or when he has a clearer understanding of his own feelings and memories. He may want to understand more about Aerith's emotion and her history with Zack to better comprehend the relationship dynamics and his own place in her life. At this point, Cloud doesn't remember Zack, but his name probably brings some kind of familiarity, either subconsciously or because Aerith brought his name up before. but his mind blocked it out and triggered a headache. Cloud's need for clarity regarding Aerith's lingering feelings for Zack is rooted in his own emotional vulnerability and growing affection for her. As he hears Aerith's ambiguous response, Cloud grapples with a mixture of hope and apprehension. On one hand, he may hope for reassurance that Aerith sees a future with him, distinct from her past with Zack. On the other hand, the lack of a definitive yes or no answer leaves him uncertain and perhaps insecure about where he stands. His decision to defer the conversation to another time suggests a need for emotional preparation and a desire to approach the topic with clarity and a mutual understanding. Cloud values honesty and openness in relationships, and while he may be distant initially, it's not out of indifference, but rather a cautious approach to protect both his and Aerith's emotions. This distancing can be seen as a form of self-preservation, allowing him time to process his own feelings and gather his thoughts before delving deeper into a potentially sensitive and pivotal conversation. Cloud's decision to delay conversation could lead to misinterpretation or misunderstandings between him and Aerith. Cloud might misinterpret Aerith's actions or words, assuming she is still emotionally attached to Zack, even if her feelings have evolved or changed over time. Without clarity on Aerith's feelings, Cloud might fall into the trap of overthinking and misinterpreting her actions or words. He could start reading too much into small gestures or comments, fearing that Aerith still holds a torch for Zack or that he's somehow inadequate compared to her first love. This overanalysis can create unnecessary tension and strain in their interactions, leading to misunderstanding and potentially pushing them further apart. This scenario is all too familiar in real life. Many of us have experienced moments where we've avoided difficult conversation out of fear of hearing an answer we don't want to hear, fear of disrupting the status quo, or fear of confronting our own insecurities. When conversation about feelings are left unresolved or avoided, it often leads to misinterpretations and assumptions. Cloud's silence and subsequent withdrawal after Aerith's vague response, "Maybe he's never given me a reason to," could be interpreted in multiple ways by both parties. Avoiding important in conversations can create emotional distance between partners. When there's a lack of clarity or openness, individuals may begin to withdraw emotionally as a form of self-protection. Cloud's decision to postpone the conversation another time indicates that he does want to continue on with the conversation. The long silence between them before Tifa's interruption suggests that they were on the brink of a significant conversation. This interruption not only halted their dialogue, but also left their emotions unresolved and hanging in the air. Cloud might feel frustrated or thwarted in this attempt to seek clarity, leading to potential misunderstandings and lingering doubts about where he stands with Aerith. So, watching Cloud's hesitancy towards Aerith unfold in the story is going to be really intriguing. It's not just about his external actions, but also about the internal conflict. On one hand, we see him showing care and protectiveness towards Aerith, which indicates his deep feeling for her. But on the other hand, there's this underlying fear and insecurity that has awoken because of jealousy. I hope you guys like this analysis, and there will probably be more of these, so have a great day and take care. Bye!